Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and taking the characters within and applying them to the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Today, though, we're going to be looking at a core mechanic of D&D itself, specifically the subclass known as the Sorcerer. This Sorcerer subclass is wildly known for its unpredictability and its unparalleled natural magic. Sorcerers gain their magic from some sort of supernatural event or bloodline birth gift. It's not from study or from any sort of great powerful creature, so a lot of the time it's hard to control, but it has raw potential beyond most other spellcasters' power. But how can that potential be utilized in the game? Let's have a look. The Sorcerer has a hit dice of d6. This is the lowest hit die in the game. They are pretty squishy and not full of hit points like some of the other classes. This means that unfortunately they're going to get a 6 out of 10 for their hit points. They're not known for their defense. Same goes for their armor. They aren't proficient in any. They can't use armor. Now they get spells to enhance their defense, but as far as just options go, they can't wear armor. So 6 out of 10, again. Weapons continues this trend. They are proficient in some simple weapons, and by some simple, I mean like 5, like daggers and quarterstaffs and that sort of thing. Really not good. I mean, they get some, which is nice. At least they're not proficient in 0 weapons, but they have one of the smallest lists in the whole game. 7 out of 10 for that. And the tool proficiencies, too. They get no tool proficiencies to buff them up and give them that extra little ability to use objects. So 5 out of 10 for that. Their saving throws, Constitution, and Charisma. Constitution's a pretty good one, and Charisma's not bad to have. I give these 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10 respectively. So they're not skill junkies either. They get 2 skills from a possible list of 6. This is about as low as it gets. 8 out of 10 and 7 out of 10 for those. We're not looking so good, but things are about to go up, because then you have spellcasting. Sorcerers obviously are full casters, and they're charisma-based casters, which is really nice. It means they can be the face of the party and use their charisma to both buff their social interactions and their magic. It does both. And as full casters, they get the full suite of spells, cantrips, and yeah, full spellcasting is 10 out of 10, pretty much every time. They're fantastic magic users, and this continues on with their Font of Magic. This gives them sorcery points, a number of sorcery points equal to their sorcerer level, which they can use to either power their meta magics, which we'll talk about in a second, or to just give them more spell slots. If they run out of spell slots, they can use their sorcery points to get some back. This is very helpful in a pinch, and most sorcerers will keep a few on hand just in case of an emergency. The Font of Magic is a 10 out of 10 power because it does nothing wrong. It powers you up in every way that it should, and is indispensable. And then come the meta magics that sorcery points power. Meta magics are basically ways to enhance spells, to change their elemental powers through transmutation, to make it so you don't have to speak to cast them through subtle spell, to empower the damage done by them with empowered spell, or to extend the length of the abilities with extended spell. Basically, they take the normal spells that the sorcerer gets and makes them better in every way you could possibly need. Obviously, these powers are a little limited, but considering that the spells the sorcerer has is pretty good, just because, this cranks it up to 11, which means that the meta magic gets a 10 out of 10 easily. It is the reason people want to be sorcerers. Ability score improvements come next, and they get 5, like most classes, so 8 out of 10 for that. And then, one more. Sorceress Restoration, the capstone feature. On an initiative roll, if you have no sorcery points left, you get some more. Similar to how the Bard will get more bardic inspiration, or the monk gets more key points, the sorcerer gets more sorcery points. Not bad. 9 out of 10 for sure, because if you're out of sorcery points, just getting some back for nothing is great. And that's it. That is what the sorcerer has. So, no weapons, no armor, no tools, but then they absolutely crank it with their magic. When you crank all the numbers together and you crunch all the math, the sorcerers get an 8 out of 10, but that's largely due to the fact that they don't have armor and weapons to use. But in truth, they don't need them. The magic that they wield gives them the armor they need, gives them the attacks that they need, both close range and long range. And their meta magics take all of that and just empower it more. Sorcery points are one of the most powerful abilities that any spellcaster has. And sorcerers, genuinely, as long as you are willing to focus on magic and not on any other element of D&D, sorcerers can't really be beaten. They're one of the most powerful spellcasters in the entire game, and if magic is your thing, the sorcerer is your thing. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes open for the other class reviews coming up soon. Have a good one, my friends.